Hi everyone, this is Dan LaFave at the Graveyard Shift. I come from time to time and I do little videos concerning the paranormal supernatural world and as far as exploring it and so forth. But from time to time I also like to discuss paranormal equipment that we use during our investigations. And today I just wanted to do a little segment concerning the Mel Meter series, which a lot of people in the paranormal field do use. I do have one of the latest Mel Meters that I wanted to show you. It is a basic model, but you know, the thing I like about it is that it is a black model, you know, from the initial white models that were out there. And this is the Mel 8704R, and you can see that, you know, of course, illuminated display for when you're in the dark. And of course, you know, one of the things that paranormal investigators like myself and others like to use in this field with the Mel Meter is that when you're conducting an investigation in the dark, you of course want some type of illuminated display so that you can see it easily. You also don't want something that's too bright that will kill your infrared lighting. So this little red display that you see on the camera, that does help things. So, you know, it will help you see in the dark. And the big advantage of the Mel Meter that I found is that you're not only able to register the electromagnetic field disturbances that are taking place in, you know, places with high paranormal activity, haunted locations. You get readings in milligauss, but what's neat about the meter is that you're getting readings in real time as far as, you know, and this is kind of interesting. Just now when I was talking with you, this shot up to 4.1 milligauss, and then it went back down to 0. It just kind of, you know, right now I'm not sitting near an electrical source. This should, there we go, it's reading 0. Again, but a second ago this shot up to 4.1 milligauss right when I started this, with an ambient temperature of about 72 degrees. And then of course, okay, that's strange, the temperature just went down to 70 and now it's coming back up. So I get some weird fluctuations right now. It's probably natural, but it's just very, very strange that right when I started talking with you that this went from 0 all the way up to 4.1, and then it went back down to 0. But again, the reason why we like to use this meter, going back to what I was discussing before this weird little circumstance happened, is that it allows us in real time to see electromagnetic field disturbances, and at the same time we can register the temperature. And that's what's really unique about the Mel Meter. And I don't, you know, necessarily, I don't need all the different bells and whistles that the Mel Meter does offer. I mean, if it can just give me a temperature and EMF reading at the same time, that's really what I'm looking for. But there are several different models out there, and I just kind of wanted to go over briefly what some of these models are. This again, I just happen to like black. I mean, this comes in white also, but the black model is a really good one. But there's different models out there. There's the Mel 8704R ATDD model. This one is designed specifically to monitor and detect a +5 degree or -5 degree ambient temperature deviation change that occurs within an environment. This is when the temperature shift does occur, the device will react quickly, produce a unique 1-octave step tone for each individual degree change. So basically this is giving you some type of an audio response, you know, for every time the temperature changes. There's also the Mel 8704R REM ATDD model. This one, the operating characteristics, it combines the REM function, which radiates an independent EM field around the mini telescopic antenna and the ambient temperature deviation detection ATDD circuit for any hot and cold spot detection. There's also the Mel 8704R SDD, the shadow detection device, which some of you may want. This it also incorporates a little flashlight. It can be used to diffuse reflective sensor up to 5 feet away. This feature with the shadow detection, it says it enables detection of reflective or solid objects that pass in front of the Mel Meter. So I haven't used the shadow device, but that does sound, rather interesting. There's also the Mel 8704R REM SDD. It says that this one uses a mini telescopic antenna to radiate its own independent magnetic field around the instrument. This EM field can easily be influenced by materials and objects that conduct electricity. That's a really good point. When you use these meters, you want to make sure you're not utilizing these meters around any electrical sources. You don't want to be using walkie-talkies around the field magnetic reader. You don't want to be using any type of electrical device that can influence this meter in any way, because you're going to get some false readings. But at the same time, if you're utilizing the right protocol when you investigate, you shouldn't have these problems, because you've already eliminated all those source potentials. And you've also should have already, before you conduct any investigation, you should go through with all your electromagnetic field devices throughout the environment and see what fields there are, just automatically. Run it by power boxes, run it by any electrical things, even if they're off, just to see what the control sectors are, throughout your home or your environment, your business, your building, whatever building you're in, conducting a paranormal investigation. This way, when you go back, and of course record all this down, but when you go back later and you're doing the investigation, when you get these severe fluctuations in temperature, electromagnetic field disturbances, and you're going to know at that point, based from your earlier observation, that there is something strange going on. And that will put or it should raise your eyebrows that something is going on at that time, along with other things that you're experiencing. But again, these meters are really neat. There's, the Vibe that's out there. There's different Mel meters out on the market. But again, I actually like the black one, and this has been featured on television before. Of course, we've been using meters for a long time, way before the television shows. There's, of course, the K2, which you see a lot on TV.